Hello, everybody. Sorry about the slight delay. We're on 3 continents. Welcome. I'm going to give a little bit of background about how I met Mahmoud before handing over to him and to his colleagues, and give you some background to what it's like to be in a war-torn rural area. And I start with this cheerful picture of boys larking in the water tank in rural war-torn Liberia, because this session is about hope rather than despair. And I've had the privilege of working in rural areas in conflict and seeing the vital role that farming can play to address trauma and to rebuild lives, renewing the relationship with nature and soil, the dignity of labor, supporting the family, even more so for those who have lost limbs. And so here are some of my experience before I hand over to Mahmoud, and I'll whistle through because we're a little bit late. So this is where Sierra Leone and Liberia is in West Africa, but I don't want just to focus on here because there's conflict right around the world and the lessons here have application. Just to give you some idea of what it's like, this is Sierra Leone in 2001. There's terror, there's uncertainty as you encounter armed groups whose loyalty you do not know, whether they're friend or foe. You see the physical destruction and the loss of homes. You see the schools destroyed here and the kids walking past their destroyed school to this tent put up by the UN and all of the classes meeting in this school. Here, if you've ever wondered what child soldiers are like, these are child soldiers. And these boys are aged about 12 and they've been released from bondage. They're learning a trade. And the boys on the right, they're just 9 years old. And if you're from Stroud, you might be interested to know that the football came from Bateman's. Everywhere you see the refugee camp and then the amputees. Thousands of people had limbs amputated. And we'll come back to the footballers a bit later on. If you've ever wondered what blood diamonds are, this is just one type of diamonds. And the process is that during the dry season, people put these sticks in the river. It slows down the water. The alluvium falls to the ground. And then when the dry season comes, you dig out the riverbed with all the damage that there is. And then people sift endlessly through this alluvium looking for the diamonds, which then, of course, are sold through the trade into the West. Now, moving on to farming. This is February 2001, leaving Freetown, the capital, to travel up country, 6:30 on a Saturday morning. Those are the Gurkhas up front. And everywhere you see firewood. Firewood. People collecting firewood, people selling firewood, all coming into the capital, which has increased in size, quadrupled due to the terror, and people seek a safe haven. And as we were driving up, I asked my colleagues, which trees are these that are being used for firewood? And it so happened that they were in flower. And so we commissioned these gentlemen on the left-hand side from the Ministry of Agriculture, obviously not employed because there's a war going on. And those that are the bodyguard that we had with us at the time. But we commissioned these gentlemen on the left to collect seeds and paid them obviously for doing so. And they collected about 50 kilograms, which was then planted out in these nurseries. And amazingly, out of that, together with the seedlings, overgrown seedlings in the ministry nurseries, we were able to distribute 317,000 of these tree saplings to farmers to plant out here with sweet potatoes. They provide shade, and later they provide timber, and they provide firewood. And you can see these slides later in recording if you wish. I just want to mention briefly goats, hugely important in the recovery of people after war. And there was a session yesterday. If you haven't seen it, have a look at it and you'll learn a lot from there. And then here's a rice mill. I've been lying, just all it needed was a belt for several years. And just by providing a belt, suddenly this whole community springs to life. And everywhere you go, you see artillery shells. And so we asked these boys, and we paid them something small to collect them together. And we gave them to the blacksmith here, and he cut them in half, and we made a whole host of kitchen knives, which were sold for 30p to generate some income. Let me take you to Liberia now, which had an equally devastating war. And rubber, think Firestone, was the base of the economy. And during the war, much of it was either neglected or what we call slaughter tapped. It's a bit like overgrazing. It's constantly tapping the rubber so it doesn't have a chance to recover. And then similarly with oil palm, a lot of the oil palm was neglected. This is not for export. This is almost entirely for local use. And so we were able to work with the local communities, provide them some resources and tools to be able to clear the ground underneath, remove the weeds, and not least because when the bunches fall, if they fall, then the fruit bounce out and they get lost if it's not clear underground. Clearly, the health and safety executive hadn't made it here, and these gentlemen are climbing up and pruning, taking the leaves off, the dead leaves, and collecting some of the fruit. And then here we have the fruit coming in. You can see the smiles on the faces. You can also see the huge variation in size of the different oil palm bunches. These then come in, and there's your bunch on the left and the fruit on the right. Well, the fruit has to be extracted physically from the bunch, and then this is the traditional way: is that it would be steamed in these 200-liter drums, and then the mash would be put into water here, and the oil skimmed off the surface. Well, clearly this is a slow and not very hygienic process. And so we're able to supply from Ghana Intermediate Technology. We got this small factory, very simple to operate, but massively increased the throughput, began to generate income for people and raise their spirits and raise their hopes. Then here we see, tragically, in nearly every town you went to, you would see a sign like this with the Red Cross. These are the children who were looking for their parents, and many orphans. And this, again, the healing role of farming. In 2006, we're able to give a few small rubber seedlings to an orphanage. And here they are. This picture was taken recently. Here are these trees producing rubber and funding the orphanage. And similarly here with oil palm, some seedlings were supplied, some small plants, and now again they're financing the orphanage. Just to remind you that rural life is not just about farming the land, but also about harvesting the seed. So we come back to our boys here larking in the irrigation, happy because they've been able to start growing rice again and produce food. And I like to put this little chap in. I met him on the beach in Liberia, and the joy and happiness on his face is just wonderful. So now we're coming to the amputee footballers. Here I met them on Lumley Beach in July 2012 when I went with my son Tom, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And in 2014, they reached the finals of the World Cup, and they asked Tom to write their theme song for it. But just before that, this gentleman here, his name is Makir Lahai. He's working with Mahmoud on the farm, and you're going to meet him shortly. So they asked Tom to write their theme song, and here it is, after which you will hear from Mahmoud himself, together with Makir, Jane, a school teacher, and Mohammed, a farmer. So Josh, can we see the video now, please? And then we go over to Mahmoud. Thank you.
Sierra Leoneans love one another. Sierra Leoneans love one another. I was lost and alone. Football has given me hope. In the war they chopped off my leg. What was my future but to scrounge in bed? Then came football and gave me a ball. Now I want peace for the world. Dribbling and kicking and shooting for goal. One leg and two crutches has left me whole. Give me a football, I'll show you my strength. Give me a football and I'll rise again. Give me a football, I'll show you my love. Give me a football and I'll rise above. Give me a football, I'll show you my strength. Give me a football and I'll rise again. Give me a football, I'll show you my love. Give me a football and I'll rise above. Sometimes it's hard because life gets down, but you've gotta stand up, not get kicked around. Though there is hardship and pain in my chest, I can still stand here and fight with the best now. In my heart I know football gives me hope. I won't be alone with these boots of my own. In my heart I know football gives me hope. I won't be alone with these boots of my own. In my heart I know football gives me hope. I won't be alone with these boots of my own. Give me a football, I'll show you my strength. Give me a football and I'll rise again. Give me a football, I'll show you my love. Give me a football and I'll rise above. Give me a football, I'll show you my strength. Give me a football and I'll rise again. Give me a football, I'll show you my love. Give me a football and I'll rise above.
Thank you so much, John. We are greatly honored as a disability uh, institution, but also in sustainable development. We are honored to participate in this in the topic healing role of farming and rebuilding rural lives after conflict in Sierra Leone. I have my colleagues here with me, Lahai Makiu, who will be talking to us. I have a farmer, a community farmer that we are working with in partnership, Mr. Muhammad, and also Jean, the teacher, one of the schools that we are working. I am Mambut Samai. I'm founder of Single Leg Amputee Sport Association and also permaculture and agroecology farming now. We are grateful to participate. This is our first time to join, Oxford Area Farming Conference, and we are very excited as a disabled sport, but also institution that is in sustainable agriculture. We say welcome to Sierra Leone. Although one of the poorest countries, Sierra Leone was devastated by its 11th year civil war, leaving tens of thousands dead and thousands more with limbs amputated. In 2014, it was the epicenter of the deadly Ebola virus epidemic. In 2001, the Sierra Leone Amputee Sport Association SLASA was formed to bring together single-leg amputees, believing that sport can support the recovery of this marginalized group. In early 2020, a 10-acre permaculture farm was established, offering hope and employment to some of the amputees. Our journey. Has SLASA as a disabled organization just after the Civil War, the 10-year Civil War in our country, we gather ourselves together and we engage in trauma recovery activities. We engage in community peace building, and also disability advocacy and education. And you can see some of our activities here. Our trauma recovery activities has been a very effective process, because anytime the thousands of amputees come together through football, they are providing therapy, fellowship, and smile. We also have, in the next photos, we have the female, both female and male gender, gender mix-up activities on football 3, where we meet to discuss, and then also we play football, and also we do celebrations. We here in 2016, we gathered in the Waterloo community, where we have a large pool of amputees, and then we are doing trauma recovering activities. And the other photo shows the Freetown amputee team. We have about 360 members in our fellowship. After football, we thought that there is need for expanding our work in agriculture, and this time sustainable agriculture. And so I had the opportunity to be trained through scholarship opportunity at Asia Rural Institute, ARI Japan, in 2020, so that we can add value on our football activities. At ARI, Asia Rural Institute, ARI accept only about 30 people each year. People with demonstrated leadership skills come together to learn about sustainable agriculture, servant leadership, and community building. The Institute agricultural training differs from that of traditional agricultural institute, which tends to be structured hierarchically in a professor-student way. It uses a learning methodology that is interactive and participatory. There are no students, only participants, adults whose leadership is motivated by a sense of service to their communities. So at ARI, at this time, we can say Minasama Kumbanwa, meaning good evening to you all. And in here, we can see here in Japan, our community work on sweet potato, and you can see me and 15 other countries, all together, including India, Ghana, USA, Nepal, and all Indonesia. In ARI, we learned about crops and vegetables. Here we understand climate resilience, pest management, mulching, overcropping, and sticking. At ARI, we say that we may live together. The motto is that we may live together. And the two photos shows some of the photos in our classroom inspections. We say healthy body comes from healthy soil, enhancing biodiversity in integrated farming. Organic farming follows the law of nature. Now, if we could talk about organic farming, if we could talk about forest gardening, maybe regenerative agriculture, or maybe agroecology, we have approaches to actually get to this process. And here, our learning methodology supports us to organize IMO, indigenous microorganisms, and how to get a very good fertile soil. Also, we learn about compost making, wood charcoal preparation, wood vinegar preparation, preparation of FAA, fish amino acid, preparation of WCAP, water-soluble calcium phosphate, preparation of WCA, water-soluble calcium, and bokashi preparation, which is actually a quick compost for 2 weeks is ready. At ARI in 2018, we had our participants, about 30 participants, and in front of those participants, we are standing behind our lecturers and our board of directors. And from the other photo, you could see a farmer in a very decent suit. Don't worry, this nice suit was given to me by a friend before I could go to Japan. And so on this very honorable day. I try to be very, very decent and not just a farmer in the suits. Upon returning home, I strongly came home with an ambition of rehabilitating my community in a functional design, especially permaculture way, because we have lost so much land damage, deforestation and erosion. So when I returned home, I gathered 150 local farmers, small holder farmers, and then in a agricultural conference, I introduced safe food production, composting, crop rotation, pest management early in 2019. We are very new in the sustainable agriculture. Before that time in 2010, we had a very good general support from the visit of United Nations Ban Ki-moon, who donated financial support to our disabled organization, and we were able to secure 10 acres of land space for our football and our entrepreneurship activity. But since that time, 2010, we do not have any money, to develop that land, and this is the land you can see from the back. So upon my return from Japan in January 2020, we were extremely blessed with support from Lost Foundation, a £20,000 from Lost Foundation in the UK, and this support actually came as an intervention from our friends our friends Ruth West and John Medley, who actually connected us with this charity. And so we have used this money to produce safe food, to provide employment and hope for our communities. And from the first photo, you could see myself in the yellow cap, and then two of our staff, amputee staff members. And there you can also see volunteer staff working with us in the farm. In sustainable agriculture or permaculture, they say whatever you have, whatever you need is around you. And so when we started our farming, we started with a bamboo security fence for harsh weather, rodents, and thieves, because here, this is very possible. So we started with that and also planting at the same time. So you could see our amputee staff standing in front of their sweet potato last year. This funding that we receive, we introduce water well so that we can have round the year vegetation growing. And so because we want to do our permaculture concept to teach people to have relationship with nature, has improved soil fertility, produce safe food, and provide clean water that now saves many lives, and also the entire ecosystem. So the water system has become very important opportunity for us in the farm. From the same funds, you see the very beautiful house made of mud bricks. We have used 90% of our local resources to bring this housing as a farmhouse. But then, interestingly, we are now using this building as a multi-complex building, saving £3,000 every year for our national office space. We are stretched in 5 districts. As a disabled sport association, we are stretched in 5 districts, and so this building is now being used as a national office, but also has farmhouse, also has a very large conference hall and nutritional center, and very space for toilet for both female and male. We try to practice organic farming for sustainable system, and we are practicing crop rotation because it has so many benefits: soil fertility, weeds control, and pest management. In our farm, we have also constructed a water harvest catchment in a permacultural way, so that with 20,000 liters, and because of this project, we host many visits from students and farmers coming to see our technology. We make compost and feed seedlings. We do 3 compost from green grass, with soil and water, and we keep it for 3 months, and then it is used on the field. We also use compost from kitchen dump, sawdust, soil and water, and we use. And we also have our quick compost made out of from indigenous microorganism. And so in front of the photos there, you could see our staff transplanting sweet pepper, using the quick compost methodology. And we want to thank Soil Mentor app, who has given us more opportunity to testing our soil. For the quick compost, which is very, very important for us, only 2 weeks it takes, and then it is used in the farm. We have a compost house within our within our farm, and the container there is for measurement. So manure is 7 containers, soil 4 containers, as you could see, rice husk, charcoal 2 containers, rice bran 1 container, and indigenous microorganism 4 to 5 hand. Maybe we can learn how to prepare indigenous microorganisms. So this is a very quick compost, or we call it organic fertilizer, and it has 3 stages: IMO 1, IMO 2, and IMO 3. So IMO 1, you place steamed rice in bamboo bowl, keep in the forest for 3 days in hot weather condition, and then also 5 days for cool weather condition. And after you have removed that from the forest, you mix the cooked rice with brown sugar and equal proportion and keep in a jar for a week. After that, you dilute the IMO2 with water at a ratio 1:1000 and mix with rice bran. So you already have your rice, you already have your IMO to mix with to do your quick composting. At our farm, we practice a forest garden approach, and now 500 trees, fruit trees. We are doing this, and we want to thank Forest Straw with Josie Cowgill, who has been very instrumental to share, values of green fruit trees as the same within, your space of vegetation. We also celebrate, and our celebration is during harvesting and during eating. So because we enjoy dignity in labor, at harvest time, when we feed ourselves, we generate income from our produce, and then we share our produce with our neighborhoods. We are working on the greenhouse construction so that we can experience a round-the-year harvest exercise on our farm. We embark on seed savings, and we have got a huge learning through Zoom meeting with organic garden organics, and also online courses with Vital Seeds, who have taught us how to harvest seeds, how to process seeds, and how to keep them, and how to use them for quality, germinations. So we thank those institutions. If you could like to see a picture of our permaculture farm, and this is our picture. This is the picture of our permaculture. We have the multi-complex building, which has all the facility there: farmhouse, national office space, conference hall, nutrition department, toilets, and then in front of that we have the drying floor, and we have water well there, and just by the side of water well we have water catchment, which we store water. So we have 2 catchment there. We have our nursery, greenhouse, compost, and then we play football on 1 leg, and so we have a very small pitch, 60 by 45 meter, where we play football on Saturdays. And so we practice crop rotation, and so we have divided our plot into 4 plots: plot 1, plot 2, plot 3, and plot 4. So each of the plots has a fruit, has vegetables that we grow there. For the fruit, vegetables, tomatoes, and all those kind of things. We have legumes, brassicas, and leaf and root vegetables. So as we harvest the fruit vegetables, we transfer that project to plot 2 to legumes, and we bring legumes to brassica, and we bring brassicas to leaf and root vegetables. And around the year, we are able to fix soil, we are able to manage weed, we are able to also control pests. We are working among support networks. We are not working alone, and so we thank Garden Organics for a webinar, conference on learning seed savings. We have learned a huge information. We want to thank Edible Straw for supporting us on low carbon economy. We want to thank Soil Mentor for helping us with a free app so that we can test our soil. We can test our soil, and we thank Eliza Jenkins and team, for giving us that facility. We want to thank Permaculture Association and also Permaculture Magazine, who gave us a free membership access that we are able to learn about permaculture. Vitas is also a very important tool we are doing on online courses, and we are very happy that we can learn how to develop and manage our own seeds. Center for Alternative Technology has helped us, in their Zoom conference on climate change survey garden, and we were learned through how to grow our own food, build resilience, and boost biodiversity. We have made so many impacts just for 1 year in our sustainable farming, just 1 year from 2010, 2020. We started 2020, and so many impacts. We provide hope, ecological and economical hopes. We provide that to the community. We provide employment. Over 30 people enjoy services with only 5 permanent staff in our farm. We also have 25 volunteers and part-time workers that came to work with us last year. We provide seeds. About 15 farmers received seeds last year so that they can grow their cucumbers, corn, groundnuts in their own farms. We distributed food, safe food. So 25 families received 1 metric tons of food support during lockdowns in COVID-19 last year, so that we share our labor with them, as we saw that it was so severe. Hunger was so severe in among most of the families in Freetown, in Sierra Leone. We help community with pure water. About 10 immediate household families are coming to our farm to fetch water and for drinking purposes. We educate elementary schools. We are working with 16 community schools around our facility, and we bring those schools to our farm and then teach them about ecology and to learn to adopt farming as a career. We educate and support farmers, and 150 farmers were educated last year, and now we can boast that 246 direct beneficiaries benefited and 1,230 indirect beneficiaries, benefited from our activities last year. We can see the ecological impacts. This is how we started the farm with barely nothing, no trees. The soil was so damaged, so much erosions and deforestations, and now in just 1 year you could see the farming, how that same environment has become. Working with schools, 16 schools, we educate elementary schools children to love farming and to take it as a career. We teach nutrition and diet from farm produce. We give them assignments on garden demonstrations at both schools and homes. Say, go to your home, go to your school, and then practice what you have learned from our farm. And so children coming to our farm, we give them orientations here, and then we also take them to the field to teach them compost making. We take them to the field to learn weeding. We take them to the field for a few minutes, and do harvesting from our produce, and then we take them to the conference hall to enjoy, to enjoy that there is dignity in labor. So we bring them and then we refresh them before ever we send them home. Working with farmers, 150 smallholder farmers. We invite farmers to our farm to see what we are doing, and we also visit them on their farms. We inform farmers that there is no need for chemical fertilizers. We demonstrate how to make and use compost. This means that farmers can avoid credit, and by doing this, they can increase yield. So this was a World Food Day in October, whereby we brought farmers, and inform them about organic farming technology. We also bring farmers to teach them forest garden approach that you don't have just to need to maybe embark on your vegetables, but you also grow fruit trees, which will support you, while you are also working on your vegetables. We inform farmers on permaculture concept. Permaculture is a sustainable functional design, through agricultural systems for human settlement. And so when farmers come, we want them to take this approach so that we can restore, our ecology. We can become friend to our nature, and then improve, the soil. We invite these farmers to participate in our harvest, and so that they can also learn about seed savings process. So here in front of our farming, you can see how we enjoy. We visit farmers in their own farms to help them with layout, especially those with small space farming. Funding supports. We have been very apart from the £20,000 we received from Lost Foundation in January last year, we have received no other funding from anyone. So all the development that we did, was from our £20,000 charity we received from the Lost Foundation, and we want to say kudos to the leadership of Lost Foundation. Now we want to see what we can do for 2021. 2021 plans and challenges. We want to increase productivity on the farm. We would like to have a solar system to develop trickle irrigation for production in the dry season using water from the well and water catchment system, as well as have electricity at the farmhouse. Maybe 1,500 can support that. We want to train the change makers. We would like to bring to the farm the change makers from around communities to see and learn what we are doing and take the knowledge back to their communities. For this, we will need to recover the cost of transport and food. We want to support the change makers as well. We would like to train and employ 20 people in a range of vital activities, including compost making, seed savings, and the production of liquid fertilizer, so that they can spend time in the villages supporting the change makers. We want to also increase the number of amputees farmers. We would like to bring the amputees to learn the physical and farming skills before returning home with seeds and tools to start farming and encourage them. So here we say we are ambassadors of peace, bring these smiles to our communities every day. And we want to say thank you so much. And my friends are here. My colleague, Mr. Makiu, Lahai Makiu, who is working with me directly in the farm. We brought a farmer, Mohammed, who is a partner farmer and has his own farm. And we have a school teacher. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Hello, Mahmoud. Thank you very, very much. I find it quite humbling that it's less than a year since you received funds. It was the end of January, I think, last year, and that all of this has been developed by within £20,000 by some of your people who are amputees, and it's very humbling. So well done. I like the phrase, whatever you need is around you. I would just like to say quickly, there were a couple of slides you took out, and one was of you doing the slake test. In case Jenny Dungate is listening, there was a slide of them doing the slake test and the infiltration, and Jackie Stroud also they're looking at earthworms based on the coming through the soil mentor app. So I would like, Mahmoud, if we could just say hello to perhaps first to Jane Kanu. And I'd just like to ask her just to let us know how, just quickly, we don't have a lot of time, Jane, but if you could just let us know what the children, how the children feel about this. Traditionally kids don't like farming. So what's their reaction to your to what's happening?
Thank you, sir. My name is Jane Kanu. I came from I am a teacher from Ahmadiyya Muslim Primary School, Magenta. They always take our students in this farm to teach them how to plant, and they always learn them how to harvest. They teach them how to plant, harvesting, planting, and composting. They teach them all these things. And when we went there, they always prepare food for them. The children always feel happy when they prepare food for them. They always feel happy to go there, and they always do well in school because we have school garden in our school. And when they went in this farm, they always do well in the school garden.
That's lovely to hear. And just tell us a little bit about the school.
Sir?
Tell us a little bit about the school.
Say a little bit about the school. About how many people, how many schools?
We have 155 children in school. Classic. We have 156 children in school.
Okay, that's lovely to know. And I know that you're a community school.
Yes, we are a community teachers. As for I'm a community teacher. I'm not yet in college, sir.
I think that's important for us all to know that this is a community school that doesn't get government funding, and many of those people who are involved are volunteers. Let me come next to Mohammed. Mohammed, are you there?
Yes, sir.
We only have
Hello,
one camera, and you're moving up and down the bench, I know. Mohammed, nice to see you. Can you tell us quickly what the benefits have been to you from your involvement with this project?
Can you come again, please? We will not understand you clear.
Okay, what are the benefits to you as a farmer?
You say whose benefit he gets when he visits the farm?
Yes, sir. Well, because I don't do farmer work up to 10 years.
You say you have been in the farming work for 10 good years.
I don't get no benefit because I dey trust fertilizer, dump.
Well, he has not been benefited throughout the 10 good years he has been doing this farming work because he was loaning fertilizers and other farming equipment.
Then from this last year, all them are go begin this work.
Since last year when we start the farming,
I dey go there, I dey go learn small.
he was came in there to learn how to plant organic farming.
Yeah. That time I'm back, I don't understand work.
And he has started to be improved to know how to plant.
Now they go make my own farm now.
And he went back and to make his own farm.
And they learn me picking them back.
And he trying to teach his children how to do organic farming.
Then back there, sabi the work.
And he has now started to cope on it.
One more trust fertilizer this year.
He said, oh, this year we didn't loan any fertilizer.
Then one harvest, I see benefits small.
And when he plant, he harvest, now he's getting some little bit income.
Then I applied you for that.
And he's so happy for that.
Because last year, any 2 weeks, 3 weeks, begin to sick me, they sick back.
And in the past, with the fertilizer farming, he will have a lot of problems in his home. Children will get sick, and he himself will get sick. But as he started to apply the organic farming, those sickness have been started to cut down.
Yeah, let's see me body number one fine.
As you can see at him there,
Very well.
very well.
Applaud you for that.
He's so happy because he's looking fine.
Okay, that's really, really good to hear, and particularly to hear that you're training your children in organic farming. Mikio, let me come to you now. Okay, so Mikio is the gentleman you saw in the still of the amputee footballers, and he's one that you've seen regularly in the photographs working on the farm. And Mikio, could you just tell us quickly how you've been able to learn the physical skills to be able to do everything that you do on the farm, the cultivation, the planting, and so on?
Thank you very much for having me. And it takes a lot of resistance to learn how to get yourself into farming. You know, with one leg is not easy, as you can see. But it's all depend on yourself. When you revolt yourself to do something, I think if you really plan it, you will be able to do it. And I was so planned to go into the farm. That's why, as you can see, a lot of works I'm doing there is because I revolt myself to doing it. And I learned a lot of skills out of that.
Okay, that's good. And are those skills that you could share with other people like yourself?
Oh, yes. As you can see, my organization have 350 members across the whole country. For me, I would be so happy if I were able to teach them what I have, the knowledge I have on organic farming, because I thought that organic farming is the best way to survive, is the best way to live on. So if I have a fund and a finance to go into Kenema, Bo, Makeni, Kailan, to teach my colleagues, not even my colleagues, every people as well, to know about organic farming. Because organic farming is the best way people need to live in, because it doesn't have fertilizer. We will not apply fertilizer. That's why we teach them how can you do your farming without fertilizer. How can you bring your crops up without using fertilizer? I think if I have that chance, I have the support, I think that will be my dreams. As my boss mentioned it in his presentations, that with 2021 we are living in, we like to bring 20 people to teach them, and then say we teach others to know how to do organic farming. And that is our dreams. And we need lots of support, because this will not go easily, you know. We need transportation,
okay.
We need to bring, we need to bring the kids. We need to teach these kids to know about farming, that they will love farming, because farming is one of the aspects to improve any nations.
Okay.
So that is my dream, and that is my hope.
Okay.
Future.
Thank you, Mikio. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and we will see what we can do at this end to try and drum up some support to help you.
My God grace.
Okay.
My God grace. Thank you.
Mambo, could I just have a quick one with you? We only have a couple of minutes left, and then there is a Zoom link coming up where we will continue the discussion.
Yes.
As Alana has asked, do you know if we can use other grains instead of rice to creating IMO?
Oh yes, yes. Of course, we are using rice because rice is our staple food. But then collecting IMO is just providing a kind of food that is attractive to microorganisms, and which you can collect in your forest. And so you can. Some people can even use cassava. You know, you can boil cassava, and then you can get a lot of microorganisms from there. So you can use another grains. You know, whatever that you can cook, and then keep it so that it can take some time in the forest.
Okay, that's great. Can we have the Zoom link, please? I think we need to move over soon. We don't yet have it here, but I think we're going to have to close this session now. Oh yes, the Zoom link is here. So to everybody who's not able to come with us, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've been inspired as I have by what they've achieved, and we look forward to seeing what we can do to support them in the future. So thank you very much, Mahmoud and Jane and Mohammed and Mikta. We wish you well, and we'll see you in the Zoom link. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you, John.